Well, let's go back to the phones. Wallace is on the line from Nashville, Tennessee. Wallace, what's your question for Pastor Adriel?
Yes, Pastor, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you, Wallace.
Hey, listen, this is what I want to know. Polygamy was okay for David and Solomon, other people in during the biblical days, and I would like to know why it was okay for them during that time, and when did it end, and why did it end during this time?
Hey, great question. I think we have to make a distinction here, Wallace, between what God permitted and what God prescribes in His Word. Polygamy was never, I think, God's intent for His people. I mean, you think of the initial creation when God made Adam and Eve, one man, one woman, to be brought together, to be made one flesh together. And oftentimes in the Old Testament, especially with the kings in Israel, there were warnings associated with the taking of multiple wives. I mean, it was in part, Solomon's downfall. He began to marry women, foreign women. They began to draw his heart away from the Lord, and he was engaged in idolatry. And so, yes, there was a season in redemptive history where God was permitting these things, where He didn't just bring judgment. But this has never, again, been what God, I think, prescribed, what He called or intended for His people. I think of Jesus' words when He speaks about marriage and divorce in Matthew chapter 19. The Pharisees came up to Him and tested Him, saying, "Is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause?" And Jesus answered, "Have you not read that He who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate." And they said to Him, "Well, why then did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and to send her away?" And Jesus said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so." It's often our hardness of heart, sinfulness, human sinfulness. And God put up with certain things, if you will, even though He gave warnings, right? He permitted, in one sense, the kings in Israel to do these things, the patriarchs as well. But again, from the very beginning, this is not how it was supposed to be. And so I think that's how we have to look at it, distinguishing between what God permits and what God prescribes. That is what He commands in His Word. Thank you for your question, Wallace.